Hi, the large and mid cap fund is a benchmark centric fund where we have three important points in terms of how we manage the fund. The first is dynamism. We are not buy and hold, we are fairly nimble about changing our portfolio. The second is anti-fragility. What we mean by anti-fragility is the fact that we don't bet the house on anything top down. So, in terms of sectors or style, we try to diversify a lot. And third is we follow macro, we don't predict macro, but whenever we see a big change either in domestic macro or global macro, we make sure that our portfolio is aligned to the new reality. So, those are the three important points about how we manage the fund. In terms of market cap, our structural view is the small cap space is a better risk reward space than mid caps. So, if you see our benchmark, which is 50% large cap, 50% mid cap, the way we typically position our portfolio is to have large cap plus cash around 40-45% and mid cap around 35-37%, with small caps being overweight at about 15 to 18%. That is generally how we run the portfolio. If you see our portfolio in terms of quality of companies, we typically have growth at reasonable price, which is the steadier part of the portfolio at about 50 to 70%. We have 2 or 3 themes at any point of time, which typically is 20-25%. And we have a set of deep value or where optionality is very high, which could be 5 to 15%. So, this is broadly about the portfolio split. Now, let me talk about how the portfolio is positioned today. In general, we are more positive on domestic cyclicals because we believe that with inflation, current account, leverage, all very favorable on the domestic economy side, we expect a recovery in the domestic economy. So, if you see overweights in terms of sectors, they are financials, real estate, consumer services, etc. We typically are a bit bearish on US growth, which is why IT is underweight. And we think in general Europe / emerging markets can surprise because expectations are low, which is why we have considerable presence in metals and shipping, which are global cyclical stocks. That is the summary of our positioning right now.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.